Are you curious about what AI tools I'm actually using to run my business? Well, in this video, I'm going to do a complete breakdown of every single AI tool that I'm using, whether that's daily or weekly, and also explain what I'm using each AI tool for, as each one has a specific purpose. So be sure to stick around for the entire video. And if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Ryan. I appreciate you being here, and I help founders and executives leverage AI by scaling content, saving time, and ultimately building a strong personal brand online. And if you want to know my favorite AI tools, prompts, and even automation templates, be sure to get my free AI Marketing Essentials Guide. You can find the link for this in the video description or pinned comment below. So, one question I get all the time from members in my community and also throughout various YouTube comments is, Ryan, what AI tools are you using and what AI tools should I use? Now, I did a breakdown post here in my community, including all the software and equipment that I use along with the AI tools. And in this video, I went ahead and created a Google Sheet that I will leave a link to in the video description below, breaking down what AI tools I'm using right now, how much they cost, and also how frequently I use them. Now, keep in mind, this could change in a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month by now, but foundationally, a lot of this hasn't changed. And so that's the first point that I want to get across in this video is that there are thousands of different AI tools out there, and the reality is most of them suck. Most of them act like they're this silver bullet to all of your problems and they'll find the solution, but that is not the reality. At a very foundational level, what I always tell people is you should start with one of the big three: ChatGPT Plus, Claude Pro, or Google Gemini. Obviously, there's a lot of nuances depending what your industry or use cases are, but pick one of those big three and then master the premium version, the $20 a month version, and then move on from there and start to pick some more niche AI tools depending on what you're working on. And so in this video, I'm going to go through each one of these tools very quickly and explain why I'm using them. So the first AI tool that I still use every single day is all reliable ChatGPT Plus. It still costs $20 a month. I refer to this as my Swiss Army knife of AI tools in my toolkit, and I use this for things like repurposing long-form videos into short-form content formats, research with deep research, or even agent mode, ideation, video scripting, helping me optimize YouTube videos or email newsletters, and probably a dozen other tasks that I'm not thinking of right now. I use my Ryan Dozer personal brand project literally almost every day. You can see here by the timestamps. I have a video script project. I have various client projects for my marketing agency. I found myself using agent mode a lot more. You can generate images with this, and also with the paid plan versus the free plan. What a lot of people don't understand here is, number one, the usage is about 10x on the paid plan versus the free plan. And also, you get better models. You get access to things like GPT-5 thinking, standard and extended thinking mode. I don't think you get any of this on the free plan. You can also access these legacy models if you want OpenAI's legacy models. So keep that in mind too, along with these other advanced features like agent mode, more image generation, deep research. You can create GPTs on the free plan, on the paid plan of ChatGPT, but you can't do that on the free plan. Even with projects, you're very limited on the free plan. So just keep that in mind. I think the free version of ChatGPT is a bad product, and I do think ChatGPT Plus is the number one AI tool that the average user should consider first before they move on to anything else. So that's AI tool number one, ChatGPT Plus. So the second AI tool that I'm using frequently is Claude Pro. Now, just like ChatGPT, the premium version of Claude costs $20 a month, but you can get it for $17 a month if you purchase the annual plan. And one of the reasons why I love Claude over ChatGPT, for instance, is copywriting, specifically Claude Sonnet 4.5. I really like this AI model, and the way that I've trained it, for instance, in this project in particular, to write my email newsletters with all these instructions I've given it all sorts of examples of real writing samples that I've done. I've given it subject lines with open rate percentages. I've gotten so granular with this particular project that Sonnet 4.5 is now dialed in with writing copy that looks and sounds just like me, in my opinion. One other great use case for Claude is using Opus 4.1. So Claude Opus 4.1 is a very smart and intelligent model. They do have an option for extended thinking mode as well, just like GPT-5 has with its thinking mode abilities. But for something like troubleshooting AI automations, I run into issues all the time, right? I'm not the number one automation guru here, whether that's a troubleshooting error where you can upload things like a JSON file and screenshots of an automation. And using Claude Opus 4.1, it has actually helped me quite a bit figure out different issues going on with my automations. But one thing to note here is that one of the biggest downsides of Claude over ChatGPT, for instance, is that the usage is terrible. I've frequently ran out of my Claude limits, whether that was using Sonnet 4.5 or Opus 4.1, way faster than I barely run out of my ChatGPT usage, but it seems like if I'm using Claude a lot, I'll run out of it more often than not. And keep that in mind if you want to use Opus 4.1 a lot, you will run out far quicker than if you're going to use something like Sonnet 4.5 or their cheaper model, which is Claude Haiku 4.5. But also, I've heard that Claude is very good for coding related tasks as well. So if you're doing anything that's vibe coding related or more technical, that's out of my realm for sure. I've heard that Claude excels there. But for me, I'm using it probably every other day for copywriting related tasks, such as emails, such as, repurposing YouTube videos into short form content formats, optimizing YouTube videos to craft engaging titles and descriptions and things of that sort. But that is another AI tool that I'm using a lot is Claude Pro. Now, another AI tool that I use daily behind the scenes to help automate my social media is called Blatato. This is an all-in-one AI marketing tool designed to help scale your social media. I've mentioned Blatato frequently on my channel. I will leave a link to my review in the video description below. This is owned by a creator called Sabrina Romanoff. She is one of my favorite content creators in the AI space. I'll leave a link to her channel in the description below as well. And for full transparency, Blatato does cost $29 a month, but the big selling point here is that it provides social media APIs that we can leverage in automations. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Keep in mind here, there are other tools that charge thousands just to access APIs. So I want you to keep that in mind. It also provides unlimited AI writing, meaning that if you want to use the web app of Blatato, you get unlimited outputs with Claude's latest models and OpenAI's latest models. She might be adding some other models that I'm not aware of, but those are the big two. You can also generate videos and images from within the platform and several other features here. So I honestly, for what you get, $29 a month is a complete steal in my opinion. And on the topic of my social media automation, I'm using Blatato paired with Make.com. That is my preferred automation platform of choice, but you can also use it with N8N or Zapier. And I will leave my full tutorial on this in the video description below, but here you'll notice these Blatato modules. These are my social media APIs that I'm using in this automation to literally automate across all my platforms every single day. Twitter or X, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and any other preferred platform that Blatato offers. And one reason why you would do that is number one, not every single social media platform provides a native integration with Make.com. So Twitter being probably the most recent example, pulled their integration so you can use a workaround like Blatato to automatically post using the APIs. There are other automations that I have using Blatato as well, but it's all pulling from this one Google Sheet. And again, I elaborate more in that dedicated tutorial, but for $29 a month paired with Make.com, which is another AI tool that I use every day behind the scenes to run my automations, I pay $9 a month just for full transparency for Make.com. So for, $38 a month to completely automate my social media versus using a Hootsuite or a Sprout Social that costs hundreds of dollars a month for social media management, that is a complete steal in my opinion if you understand how to use these platforms. And this is what I'm doing to automate my social media. Blatato and Make.com. So those are two other AI tools that I'm using daily. So, on the same topic of make.com, I do have other active scenarios besides just automating my personal brand social media. One of those being automated research prep. And this is very applicable to probably a lot of you watching this if you run a service based business or you run a podcast, for instance. So, let's say in this example, you're using Calendly, and I have a full tutorial on this specific automation. I'll leave that in the description below. So, if you run a podcast or if you run a marketing agency or any service based business and you're using a calendar app like Calendly, well, when someone books a call, that would trigger a workflow like this, where it would then move on to Perplexity and it would do automated research in the background of this podcast guest or of this prospective lead and prospective company. And then it would produce the output in a Google Doc or maybe to Gmail or maybe send you a Slack notification, right? Depending on whatever works best for you. But that's just another real world automation that I wanted to show you that I'm using with make.com, which is my automation platform of choice. Another AI tool that I use frequently is called HeyGen. This is an AI avatar generator. I've been using HeyGen for maybe a year and a half at this point, and they've been adding so many new features that it's almost hard to keep up. They just added this HeyGen video agent where you can create realistic AI UGC videos, but I'll be honest, I'm not really a fan of AI UGC. What I like HeyGen for in particular is my AI clone, my realistic AI clone that I use for short form videos. You'll notice here within my avatars, I have all sorts of looks and gestures where I'm wearing different shirts, glasses, no glasses. Here I am with a green screen in the background. And so I really like HeyGen for this particular aspect. I think it still costs $29 a month, and that does include unlimited videos without the HeyGen watermark. And so with HeyGen, what I'm also using alongside it is ElevenLabs. ElevenLabs is still one of the top AI audio generators out there, but really the bee's knees of ElevenLabs is creating realistic voice clones. So you'll see I have my Ryan Dozer AI voice clone. For whatever reason, HeyGen or OpenAI still hasn't come up with a good solution to do a voice clone of myself that sounds exactly like me. And so what I have to do is still pay for ElevenLabs every month. I think it's still $22 a month on that base plan to create a professional voice clone and then sync that to HeyGen via API. And there also are some other ways you can automate using HeyGen, like this in particular. Although I will say HeyGen's API can get super expensive, so just keep that in mind. You're almost better off having a HeyGen account for $29 a month and then hiring a VA, creating an SOP to come in here and have them create clone videos based on your looks. That's exactly what I do, to be honest with you. So that's just a little tip there. But HeyGen and ElevenLabs are two AI tools that I use probably weekly to help me generate realistic clone videos that I then post on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and also Instagram Reels and other relevant social platforms. This just helps me create some consistent content on some things that I'm actually saying. I'm repurposing long form YouTube videos to help me come up with the scripts using Claude and ChatGPT. But HeyGen and ElevenLabs are both very useful AI tools for what I'm doing. Now, another AI tool that I've been using a lot lately is called VoiceInk. This is an AI voice to text tool or a voice dictation tool that you can use in things like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, Perplexity, even things like email, Google Docs, or Slack, where instead of typing out these long prompts in ChatGPT, for instance, you can hit a hotkey on your keyboard and speak it out and it'll paste right on your screen. Very efficient. And not only is it efficient, what I've noticed is when I'm speaking versus typing something out, my outputs or my delivery is different. When I'm talking, I'll get more thoughts out or better thoughts out versus sitting there trying to think of something while I'm typing. Now, this is Mac only for VoiceInk. It's $25 for a lifetime license, which is why I love it. It works great. It uses local AI models. But the big player here is WhisperFlow. This works, I believe, this works on Windows. So hopefully VoiceInk will come up with a Windows version at some point. But if you're using a Windows or a Mac, WhisperFlow is definitely the biggest player in this space. But the problem is it's another monthly SaaS subscription. $15 a month for unlimited words, where VoiceInk is $25 for a lifetime license. So just keep that in mind. But AI voice to text or voice dictation, regardless if it's WhisperFlow or VoiceInk, is becoming more important in my day-to-day workflows. Now, another AI tool that I use every so often for research related tasks is Perplexity Pro. So, the premium version of Perplexity does cost $20 a month. I know there was some way with PayPal you could get Pro for free. So, if that still exists, I'll do some research on that and leave a link in the video description below. But Perplexity is an AI search engine, a good alternative to Google Search or Google AI mode at this point. And one thing that I really like about Perplexity is it has the ability to use various models in one interface. GPT-5, Claude Sonnet 4.5, Gemini, Grok 4, right? You have to be on Max to get some of these more expensive models like Claude Opus 4.1 or O3 Pro. But another unique thing here is that in addition to web search, they have filters for academic searches, social searches like digging through Reddit and other forums. That's very useful for a lot of queries, finance searches. So if you're doing anything research related, this is a great tool. There's no doubt about that. They also have an option to create what's called Perplexity Spaces. I don't use these as often anymore versus ChatGPT projects or Claude projects, but you can think of it as an alternative to that. And you'll see I created an AI research assistant a while ago, trained on my data, my custom instructions. So this is a great option as well. One other cool thing that I think was a recent update here is that Perplexity has its own finance category. So not only are there, all sorts of information about the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, you can create watch lists and this and that. But one thing that's really cool is they have a politicians tab. So first of all, I don't endorse this. I think this is super illegal and crooked that this is happening in the first place, but you can search for any politician. It's still in beta mode. So we'll look up the poster child here of insider trading, which is Nancy Pelosi, and you can see here all of her different holdings and also the transactions. Now, in terms of accuracy, I don't know exactly, how quick it is to post a transaction or anything like that. But again, this is still a really unique feature that I'm going to be exploring more just on the side for just investment purposes and whatnot. But I wanted to call that out as well. So Perplexity is definitely a great option if you are doing anything research related. Now, a couple other AI tools that I'm using every so often, maybe once a week at this point, is Google AI Studio and also Google's NotebookLM. I'm sure most of you have heard by NotebookLM at this point. Really just a great resource for learning and research related tasks. You can input any sources right here on the left-hand side, whether that's a YouTube video, a blog post, a website URL, a PDF, anything from a Google workspace, and then chat with it in the chat box here based on just those resources. So keep that in mind versus a ChatGPT project or a custom GPT. In that chat box, OpenAI's models are still going to be pulling things from the open web and other training data, whereas NotebookLM is only going to be pulling things from these sources. Now, in this particular notebook that I'm showing you here, I cloned my YouTube channel. I have a whole dedicated tutorial, which I'll leave in the description below for that. But you can also create audio overviews. They added video overviews not too long ago, mind maps, quizzes, flashcards, reports. So if you're a student or if you're doing anything related to learning a topic, NotebookLM should be at the top of your list. And also Google AI Studio, one of the most underrated free AI tools that currently exists, in my opinion. Whether that's when you want to come in here and just test Google Gemini models like 2.5 Pro, Flash latest, versus the Gemini app. It doesn't have access to all of these latest Gemini models, so keep that in mind. If you want to generate images with Google's Nano Banana image model, this is a free way to do that. You can also generate videos with Google Veo. Keep in mind this is Veo 2, not Veo 3, but you can definitely do that as well. One thing that I actually use Google AI Studio probably more than anything for is screen sharing. So if I'm having issues with an automation, I have various errors, or maybe it's something like, a website issue or just any sort of issue that I have, you can talk to Gemini live. You can do a screen share where you can say, hey, Gemini, what is this error on my make automation where this isn't firing properly or something's wrong? Help me. And then it will use Google Gemini on a screen share as like some AI assistant to walk you through what some of those issues are. Now, is this 100% perfect? No, it is not. I would say it's probably 70 to 75% there. There are some errors, no doubt about that, but it has helped me more often than not think of things I never thought of, help me fix an automation. So this is definitely a really unique feature. You can also build things within Google AI Studio. So if you're trying to vibe code or build different apps, there is a whole thing here, and they definitely updated this since the last time I checked this out. So if you're doing anything with vibe coding or building apps, check this out. Inside Google Gemini for free is this build option. So Google AI Studio and Google's NotebookLM, two of the best free AI tools available right now, and I'm using these every so often, about maybe once a week or so. So outside of just the AI realm, some of you might be wondering, what other SaaS tools am I using to help grow my personal brand in other parts of my business? And one of those being Kit, formerly known as ConvertKit. This is my email marketing platform of choice. I've used Kit since 2018 at this point, and it's used by big names like Neil Patel, Matthew McConaughey, James Clear, Ali Abdaal, Pat Flynn. I think Tom Brady's even using Kit at this point. I think what I'm paying is about $80 a month right now because I almost have 5,000 subscribers. Yeah, so about $80 a month on that creator plan. And with Kit, I'm also using this for my free AI marketing essentials guide. It helps me with email drip sequences. I use it every week to create my email newsletters like I'm showing you right here. And so Kit is my preferred email marketing platform of choice. In addition to Kit, I am paying $99 a month for Skool. I do have a Skool community focused on AI. I'll leave that in the video description below as well, where I have all these other, AI automations vault, prompts database. I have some courses in here. I do weekly live Q&A calls. I won't get into my Skool community too much, but just wanted to point that out, that is another subscription that I am paying for alongside Kit that aren't necessarily related to AI. So those are the AI tools that I use to run my business and build my personal brand. And again, I will leave a link to this Google Sheet in the video description below that lists all these tools and other important details. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, nothing changes too drastically. I try not to venture too far off from my AI tool stack. And the point that I'm going to leave you with is one that I said at the beginning of this video. If you're still struggling to figure out what AI tools you should use, always choose one of the big three to start: ChatGPT Plus, Claude Pro, or Google Gemini Advanced, and master the premium version of that tool. Then from there, you can get into all these niche AI tools and figure out what your use cases are that would help move the needle for whatever you're doing. Do not go down the endless abyss, as there are thousands of AI tools out there that more or less do the same thing. And again, most of them suck. So just keep that in mind as well. But if you've made it this far into the video, I truly appreciate you. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you found value. Let me know in the comments below what AI tools you're using. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts. But most importantly, I hope you all have a great day.